Hi there. In today's lecture, we're going to talk about ISE. As I mentioned in the previous lecture, ISE or Identity Services Engine is a product of Cisco that we could use it as an authentication server in our 802.1x structure. So, in this lecture, first we would have a quick review on ISE and we would say some key features of it, and after that I would explain you how to install ISE on VMware Workstation. Let's jump in. ISE review. ISE or just ISE is Cisco's platform for access control solutions. ISE has an extended range of abilities, so it could offer different features such as authenticated network access, profiling, posture, BYOD, and many other features. Some of these terms may be unfamiliar for you. Profiling is that you could define different authorization profile and assign it to different groups of users, and they could have respectively access to different resources in your network. Posture is a solution which is called NAC, Network Access Control. With NAC, you could limit your users, for example, until the latest version of antivirus and its updates or the latest patches of operating system is not installed on that computer, it could not connect to the network. BYOD, which stands for Bring Your Own Device, is a new term in computer network world. It means that your users does not need to provide them organizational computers. They could bring their own personal devices. For example, they could bring their own personal mobile phones or their tablets or their laptops to the network, and after some security check which is done with your ISE, if they pass that security checks, they could connect to the corporate network and use any authorized resources. Cisco ISE is available on 2 physical appliances with different performance characterization, and also a software that can be run on a VMware server. We, in our environment, use this flavor, software that is installed or run on VMware server. Honestly speaking, I just copied these sentences from Cisco's website. Cisco says that only VMware ESX or ESXi is supported for ISE, but I myself install ISE on VMware Workstation. You could try it on other different platforms for virtualization, such as Oracle or Microsoft or any other vendors. So let's install ISE on VMware Workstation. Installing ISE. The version of ISE which I choose to install is ISE 1.3. If you want to download this software, you have to service contract with Cisco, or you have to ask your Cisco resellers to download it and deliver it for you. You could not download it without service contract from Cisco. So, as I mentioned in the previous slide, I want to install ISE on VMware Workstation. I'm not sure whether you're familiar with VMware Workstation or any other virtual environments or not. So I advise you, if you are not familiar with VMware Workstation, just download the trial version of VMware Workstation and follow my steps. Let's begin. First of all, we have to, after installing VMware Workstation, we have to create a new virtual machine. We could use this link, create a new virtual machine here, or we could choose menu file and use this link, new virtual machine, or we just press Ctrl N as a keyboard shortcut. Okay, a wizard begins. At the first step, the wizard asks us about the typical configuration or custom configuration. We choose custom configuration. After that, the wizard asks us about hardware compatibility, and we choose Workstation 10 and click Next. About the guest operating system installation, we choose I will install the operating system later. And guest operating system could be Linux or other. It is not very important. You could choose any of these parameters. And then we name our virtual machine ISE 1.3, and you could choose any other location to store it. Number of processor for better performance, I choose 2. At least you need 4 GB of RAM for ISE installation, so I provided for my virtual machine 4 GB of RAM. 4 GB, 4 GB, 4 GB. Come on. Okay. Type of network, you have to choose bridge networking. You do not have to, of course. But in my solution and my scenario, I choose use bridge networking. In this step, you have to use LSI logic, because if you choose bus logic, the ISE won't install. After that, you have to choose again SCSI, because again, if you choose IDE, the ISE won't install. And the final step is create a new virtual disk. You have to provide at least 100 GB of RAM, hard disk, sorry. You may say that, oh, I don't have this much space on my hard disk. Don't worry, just use it and say that store virtual disk as a single device, because VMware do its thin provisioning and use as much as it can, or it needs, of course. And finally, we store our VMDK file and click finish, and now we are providing, and our virtual machine is ready to install ISE. After creating the virtual machine, we have to provide our ISE image as a CD drive for this virtual machine. So I double click on this option, and here I choose use ISO image and click browse and install, and I select the ISO image and click open ISO image and open. Okay, and now we have ISE image as a CD drive. Now we power on our virtual machine. The first option is we have to choose is type of installation, if you have serial console or you have keyboard or monitor. I choose option number 1 and press enter. I pause the video until the next window. After some hardware and software checking, the wizard starts to installing the relevant packages, and you see that there are 493 of them. So again, I pause the video until these packages are installed. After ISE installation is completed, ISE restart itself, and after a couple of minutes or more, you would see this page which advise you to type setup, and we do it. We type setup for some first configuration and press enter. First of all, the setup asks us about the host name, and we type ISE server. After that, about the IP address, and we type 192.168.1.10. About the net mask, 255.255.255.0. Gateway 192.168.1.254. The domain udemy.com. I will explain you where this domain could be used. The name server 192.168.1.20. Do you want the second name server? No. What is the NTP server for time syncing? We say that 192.168.1.20 again. Another NTP server? No. What is the time zone? It is UTC. Do you want to enable SSH server? I say yes. Username admin for default. Just press enter, and password Udemy with U at capital letter @ 123. Remember that this password has complexity conditions and you have to obey them. And I type Udemy with U in capital letter @123 for the second time, and I pause the video for next interaction. Like me, you may confront some errors about NTP or gateway or I/O performance test fail. Since we are not in a production network and we do not need NTP or gateway yet, you simply say no to the retry messages and here, and remember that the files that have been copied in the previous section is now installed through ISE. It is a time-consuming process, so again I pause the video for the next interaction. After the installation is completed, ISE starts its database setup. The purpose of this setup is to provision the internal ISE database. This setup is non-interactive and will take roughly 15 minutes to complete. So just relax and sit behind your monitor and see what happened. After the ISE installation is totally completed, ISE restarts itself for the second time, and when booting is completed, you will see a prompt like this. If we provide our credential, which was admin, for the username and password was Udemy @123, you will see a prompt like this. And it's ready to enter the commands, but interaction with ISE through a command prompt is really different and sometimes maybe impossible. So how could we operate the ISE? You need a browser, which Cisco says that's Internet Explorer version 10 or more, or Firefox version 31 or more, or any other browser could help us to connect to the ISE server. So we open our browser and type the ISE IP address with HTTPS, or if our DNS infrastructure working properly, we could say the name of the ISE server. As you remember that it was iserver.udemy.com. As ISE has a self-signed certificate and it's not known as a CA for any browser, you will see this prompt which informs you about or alerts you for SSL certificate problem, and you say just continue to this website. And now ISE is ready to use, so I enter my username and password, Udemy @123, and we're logging to the ISE for the first time. First of all, we may have an alert from the system that you use a trial version for 120 days. I click OK. And after that, a setup in assistant wizard, do you want to run the setup assistant now? And you say no, and please don't ask me again. And this is our environment. There are 4 main menus for ISE: operations, policy, guest access, and administration. We will describe some of them in the future lectures. Okay, now let's wrap up. In this lecture, first we have a brief review on ISE, and I explained you some key features about it. And after that, in a marathon, we installed ISE on VMware Workstation 10. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.